رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على عبد الله ورسوله نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We begin as always by praising Allah, the Lord of the worlds. We ask Allah to exalt the mention and grant peace to our messenger Muhammad, to his family and his companions. This question asks, I have accepted Islam and my spouse has not. Do we have to get a divorce? So the first thing we need to understand is that marriages prior to Islam, as long as they are conducted in the normal way according to the customs of the people, are accepted in Islam. What that means is that the person does not have to repeat their marriage after Islam. As for if one of the spouses accepts Islam and the other one doesn't, then there are two situations here. If the one who has not accepted Islam is the wife and the husband has accepted Islam, then if the wife is Jewish or Christian, then they may remain married together, because it is permissible for a Muslim man to be married to a Jewish or Christian woman. Normally that does have some conditions. It is something we would not advise people to jump into. But if they're already married and it's the case that the man became Muslim and the woman didn't, and she is Jewish or Christian, then they may remain married and there is nothing wrong with their marriage. If this woman is not Jewish or Christian, so she might be atheist or agnostic or Hindu, Sikh or Buddhist or anything else, then this is joined together with the second case that we're going to mention, and that is that if the woman becomes Muslim and her husband doesn't. So in the case that either a woman becomes Muslim and her husband doesn't, or the husband became Muslim but his wife is not Jewish or Christian, in that case, this marriage is not a one that can continue in Islam. However, there are two things available. The first thing is that there may be given as an amount of time for the person to consider whether they want to accept Islam or not. In that time, the couple should not be intimate. They shouldn't be, together intimately as husband and wife. However, for them to remain exploring whether this marriage is going to work, that is something that could be done for a short period of time. There could be a short period of time where they investigated whether the marriage would work, in the likes of something along the lines of the length of an iddah. An iddah is the length of time that a woman has to wait before she can remarry. And it's normally 3 menstrual periods or 3 months. So around that length of time, there could be a discussion about, without intimacy and so on, that a woman might be able to explore and wait to see what her husband decides to do in terms of religion. As for anything longer than that, then we come to the second option, and that is that the husband and wife in this case are divorced. However, they may choose to not to remarry but to wait for their spouse. And this is something the Prophet's daughter, one of his daughters, may Allah be pleased with her, she decided to do. She was split from her husband when she became Muslim and he didn't. And then when he became Muslim later on, she waited for him that whole time to become Muslim, and he became Muslim later on. And then the Prophet brought them back together without a new marriage contract. All it was she just said, I'm waiting for him to become, I don't want to marry anybody else. I'm waiting for him to become Muslim. And when he became Muslim, they came back together without any new marriage contract. So those are the options. Once again, if the woman is the one who is not Muslim and she's Jewish or Christian, the marriage can continue, there is no issue. In any other situation, so that's a woman who's atheist or Hindu or Sikh, or a man in any situation, in that case, the man is not a Muslim, or the woman is not Jewish or Christian, in that case, there are only two options. One is to wait a short amount of time, in the region of 3 months approximately, to see whether that person will accept Islam, knowing that there is not intimacy at that time. The second option after that is that the marriage breaks apart. However, the spouse could state that I wish to wait for my spouse to come to Islam. I don't wish to be considered divorced, or I don't wish to be considered to be fully separated so I can marry someone else. I simply wish to wait for my spouse. And if that spouse accepts Islam, then they can come together without a marriage contract. And if it's the case that they don't, then the woman can, or the man could go then back to the judge and say to the judge that I now want to dissolve my marriage. I've realized they are not going to come to Islam. And so, it seems to me they will not come to Islam. And so I want to dissolve my marriage contract and I want to be able to marry someone else. Now, having said that summary, it is really important to note that this issue is one that needs quite specific guidance. So I wouldn't say that you should just take this video and apply it in your life. Because there are certain circumstances I haven't mentioned, like, for example, if the husband and wife have never been intimate, the ruling changes. If, for example, the situation they're living in, are they living in a Muslim country, non-Muslim country? There are all sorts of things to take into account here. There are all sorts of differences of opinion among the scholars as well. I gave you a general overview, but I would definitely say that if you are going through this situation of a difference in religion between the spouses, then you must seek specific advice on that situation for your personal circumstances. That's what Allah made easy for me to mention. Allah knows best. والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallahu khair for watching this video. If you've benefited from Ustad Muhammad Tim Humbo's videos here, we'd like you to head over to academy.islamicic.com. This is a complete new Muslim program that will take you from the start to finish of everything that you need to know as a new Muslim. Even if you're a born Muslim, you can still benefit from these videos. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe and share with others so we can spread the benefit and spread the reward. From the One True Message Foundation Dawah team, Jazakumullahu khair. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.